Hey, good afternoon. This is Grant again from Cadillac here in Schaumburg, and today we're going to do a walk around on the new Cadillac CTS, the 2011. And this will be a little bit different type of walk around. We're back here in the garage, the shop where we take care of servicing our vehicles. And I like to call this CTS Uncovered. Talk about some of the features that a lot of things might just get skipped over when you're out looking at cars. First, you notice the bubble in the hood. Well, there's a purpose for that because there's a big supercharged 6.2 liter engine underneath. So that bubble is going to create that extra room needed when the hood's closed. You have a big grill up front, both the top and the bottom. That's to let air in. The top one's going to help with the air going through the radiator to keep the engine coolant nice and cold. And down below, you have a intercooler for the supercharger, once again extracting that heat from the supercharged air, and that allows the engine to produce its 556 horsepower and 550 pound-foot of torque. So this is a serious automobile and a car that really has shook up all the European cars over on the Nürburgring racetrack. Its little brother in the four-door sedan holds the Nürburgring racetrack record at under 8 minutes for the Nürburgring ring. Coming on over to the side, you'll see the fog lights on the bottom, the air intakes, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, how they help with the Brembo brakes and stopping the car. Xenon HID headlights. Headlights are going to be able to move 5 and 15 degrees left and right. That's tied into the steering wheel, and depending on your speed and input of steering, the headlights will be able to shift themselves left and right. And right in front of there, you're going to have a headlamp washer, so when you're washing your windshield, that's going to clear off that lens, making things nice and clear in front of you as a driver. Moving alongside, got the big 19-inch wheels, polished wheels on this one, again with the Brembo brakes up front. This side air duct on here, this is actually functional. It's going to extract the heat from underneath the engine and keeping that engine nice and cool. You have a nice swept back windshield. This vehicle is 2 inches lower to the ground. It's 2 inches wider in the back, and the overhang's a little more than 2 inches shorter than the little brother to CTS sedan. So a very sleek car, almost looks like it's moving when it's actually standing still. Along on the side here, we have the emblem that's letting the folks next to the vehicle know that this is the CTS-V. No door handles on the car. You have a nice little rubber sense switch. You just touch this, allows the door to pop open. And when you're doing high speed on this car, this has self-indexing windows. So when we close this, the windows are going to jump up, seal itself, keeping that outside air from coming in, and also to create the least amount of wind noise when you're driving at speed. I want to come back over to the windshield for a second. You have a car that has the capability of doing 192 miles an hour, and that's what the top speed of this vehicle is when equipped with the manual transmission. These windshield wipers up here were engineered to be able to stay on the window, clean your window, doing 190 miles an hour. So a specially engineered feature in the windshield wiper. Something you really don't think about, but will become real important if you're driving at speed. Come on back to the rear of the car. Little shark fin up on top, that's our communications antenna for OnStar and for the XM radio, for the GPS system that the car has on board, as well as your Bluetooth connectivity. And towards the back of the vehicle, nice LED taillights in the back, and the center brake light on here. This is a purposeful design, so you have a nice sweeping edge coming up and creates a downforce when the car is moving at speed. So when you're over 100 miles an hour in this car, create a tremendous amount of downforce is being pushed down on the back end of the car. That's allowing the back end, the tires, to have good adhesion in a corner. So going into that corner maybe at 120 miles an hour at a track, this is going to help you make that corner just like at the racetrack you see the cars on Sunday. In the back, we're going to have parking sensors in the rear bumper. There's also a backup camera back here, so when your car is in reverse, you're going to be able to see what's behind the vehicle, and certainly the parking sensors will be alarming anything that might be back here. You could have a child sitting in a playing on the ground. You may not be able to see them in the mirror, but those sensors are going to pick it up, and the camera's going to help you identify that. And let's come on over to the side. Our fuel tank's over on the passenger side, and this car is going to run on premium fuel to maximize your horsepower, but it will be able to run under 87 octane for emergency situations without harming the engine. So by design, again, If you can't find premium in a location where you're at, you can still put the regular gas in, and you just won't have that high performance, you won't have that 556 horsepower at your fingertips. All right, folks, here we are back inside the CTS V Coupe, and this one has the ebony interior on it with the black Sapelli wood trim throughout the vehicle up here on the dash, and that's carried on all the way over into the door panels. A little bit about the transmissions. Two transmissions are available. The 6-speed automatic, which this car is currently equipped with, and you also have the Tremec T56 manual transmission, so you have an extra pedal down there for your left foot to use the clutch. But the automatic transmission has been real popular because you can go into a complete manual mode on this, and this car includes the paddle shifters. So you have a switch over here on the right hand side, another one over on the left hand side. This is going to allow you to quickly make your shifts forward, up and down without leaving your hands off of the steering wheel. So great feature, and most of our sales right now are in the automatic, but for those diehards that like that manual transmission, certainly the 6-speed manual Tremec is available for you. Okay, inside the cabin here we're looking at the 3 cluster of instrumentation. On the far left you'll have your tach. In the center you're going to have your speedometer. Notice it goes up to 200 miles an hour. And over on the right you'll have your fuel, your automobile temperature, and also a boost gauge on the bottom letting you know what the supercharger is doing. And right in the middle of the display for the speedometer is our driver information center, and on there we can pick up information such as your engine oil life, but also if you're driving, this is a G-load meter, so it's going to let you know how far and fast, how hard you went into a corner when you're driving at speed. You could also pick up your oil pressure, which is useful on a performance engine. In addition, you want to know what's going on with the transmission, and here you're going to be able to see what the temperature is. Also, over here to the center stack, if we go ahead and make an adjustment on the suspension, we'll go back to our display. We're in the suspension mode for touring, or we can simply hit the button again and go to the sport mode, and that's where the suspension becomes aggressive, and your performance in cornering is really at top performance. Okay, back here at the CTS interior, a little bit about the Recaro seats. On all the CTS Vs, you're going to have a leather seating surface, but the inserts on here are done in a suede fabric. And that suede fabric, again, has a purpose to keep your rear end planted on that seat, so if you're in a corner going quick, you're not going to slide off that seat and get in an uncomfortable position while you're driving the car at a pretty good clip. So again, nice attention to detail, looks great, and has absolute function when you're inside the vehicle. And we're going to show you some views that you normally don't get a chance to see when you're looking at a car. First, we have the coupe up on board here. This is the V, and it's got the big stainless steel polished exhaust tips, and they did a nice bordering with the polished stainless steel trim to really accentuate the exhaust tips. Follow me down underneath the car, and you'll see you got a nice big 2.5-inch exhaust, dual exhaust going all the way back, an X pipe which helps keep things a little quieter, but it also adds to the additional performance. And coming on down, you'll be able to see this is the 6-speed automatic transmission that's available to shift manually or in a fully automated position. And then finally up here, the use of extensive aluminum to keep things nice and light, unsprung weight. It's used extensively through the vehicle. If we focus up underneath here, you're going to see the shock absorbers, and these are the magnetic ride shocks. These are all controlled by a computer, and this is the fastest reaction shock absorber system in the automobile industry. So it's able to make an adjustment 1,000 times per second. Okay, and then further up, you'll notice this duct that's up here. This duct is channeled up in the front to bring nice cold air, drawing that air right into the rotors on the front brakes. So it's cooling them off if you're out there using the brakes extensively, maybe on the racetrack. All right, now we're up at our front wheel, and we're going to take this wheel and tire off and show you the giant rotors that are up front on the CTS V, as well as the giant 6-piston caliper Brembo brakes. Go ahead and take this down. There we go. And now if you notice the giant rotors that are on here, these are vented. right down the center, so you have a lot of room for heat dissipation. And so this is a 6-piston caliper, 1, 2, 3 pistons on the outside, 3 more on the inside, hence you got your 6-piston caliper. And then you'll notice that the upper control arm, you're looking at an aluminum piece as well as a spindle for the front rotor as well. It's all in aluminum for unsprung weight. And back underneath the vehicle, got a nice big sway bar in the back that's allowing for better control on your rear end. And we come up to the front of the rear end, the lower control arm back here. All the geometry on this is set up for excellent braking conditions under high speed. If you're going into a corner at 150 at a racetrack and slam on the brakes, this is all going to push that weight of the chassis right down on the tire, helping the car to come to a quicker stop. Back in front of our CTS V Coupe. Thanks for listening to all the details about the car. Just a couple closing comments. One, the price. This is a vehicle that you can get into for under $72,000. A supercar in a world-class automobile that's quicker than most of all your German vehicles. Whether it's from Asia or whether it's from Europe, you have a super vehicle at an unbelievably inexpensive price. Warranty on the car, second to none. 5-year, 100,000 miles on the powertrain. You have 4-year, 50,000-mile bumper to bumper, and all your oil changes, your maintenance, tire rotation, cabin filters, oil filters, all covered by the factory for the first 4-year, 50,000 mile. Included with the vehicle is going to be 3 months of satellite XM radio and 1 year of OnStar service. So your directions and connections to input your data into the navigation system is all included. If you need help with airbag deployment in a bad wreck, OnStar is there with you. And if you have one of those new smartphones today, this car can communicate with your smartphone. You get an app, you'll be able to check your fuel level, your tire pressure, be able to know when to change the oil. At the leisure of looking at your smartphone, could be from another part of the United States, just to see what's going on. And again, this is Grant from Patrick Cadillac in Schaumburg. We thank you for watching our video today. We're located in the western suburbs of Chicago next to the Woodfield Shopping Center. CTSV is ready for you. We'd be happy to place your order. And we're located at 526 Mall Drive, Schaumburg, Illinois. Our web address is patrickcars.com. And our telephone number here at the Patrick Dealer Group is 847-605-4000. My name's Grant, or you can talk to my partner Steve. We'd be happy to talk to you about the Cadillac CTS V Coupe.